Hello, vinyl community. Another vinyl finds here for you. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, the wife was going to be at work when I got off work, so I decided to pass some time by checking out the Goodwill in my old neck of the woods. If I don't remember what video it was, but in a recent Vinyl Finds, I explained that I had gone there and there was like almost nothing left, and I was kind of surprised. But I decided to go back because things come in sporadically at these places, as you probably all know. Yeah, so I decided to check in, and I wasn't hoping for much. As soon as I walked in, I noticed that they had moved that section over to the other side of the store, so I was curious about that. Always my first stop is to look at the electronic stuff and see if they have any cool stereo equipment or speakers or anything like that. I'm always just kind of keeping my eye out, even though my system, I feel, is very, very complete, and I'm very, very pleased with it. But that's always my first stop, just in case, you never know. And so then, after that, I went over to the new section, and wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Apparently, someone had a fairly large classical collection that they donated to Goodwill. I do love classical music, and that is one area that I'm really building my collection on, is classical music. However, and originally I was going through those and I was like, oh, I was pulling interesting things out, like harpsichord music and stuff like that, and but big names. I mean, they had a bunch. They had a bunch by Mozart, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna decide on these? But then, as I worked my way over, I got to the box sets, and yeah. Oh man. So I was going through the box sets, and I suspected there would be some operas in there, and boy were there. As is usually the case with people that collect classical music, I think more than any other genre of music, and I've said this many times before in videos, but I'll say it again. I think more than any other type of music, they tend to really take care of their music. If it's CDs, no scratches. If it's cassettes, they're pristine, and obviously if it's records, they're complete and no scratches, that sort of thing. Yeah, that, dear viewers, is why I could not pass these up. Even though it ended up being more than I should have spent, but I literally could not pass these up because I briefly decided I was going to start collecting complete operas on CD, and this was years ago when I was still really into CDs. I didn't get too far with it, but the desire was still there to have complete operas. I mean, it's all well and good to have, the hits from, or the popular songs from the operas, and yeah, I'm not. Even though I love opera, the terminology still escapes me, so don't hold it against me. But anyway, hi Agatha. Yeah, so the idea of finding so many complete operas on vinyl was just mind-boggling, and I literally could not pass up any of them. Now, they had a lot of other box sets as well, like some of them were focusing on specific composers, Amadeus, a lot of Beethoven, and I would have liked to pick those up, but when I saw the opera ones, I was like, man, I have to get the opera ones, because I enjoy opera even more than actual classical music. So, are there any other opera fans in the vinyl community? I hope I'm not the only one, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I found lots of good ones. Agatha, watch out. Alright. Now, the first two are actually not opera. But they are worthy of being excited about them nonetheless. So the first, I've seen these before, but not jazz. This is a Maxell sampler, a limited edition stereo recording. It has the information about the tracks that are included, and it has this great shot of the different Maxell products. Oh man. Yeah, there's I guess a couple different sizes of reel-to-reels there for people like Michael Cole, and I don't remember offhand who else has the reel-to-reel tape decks, but then there's an 8-track there, and the different types of the compact cassettes. I mean, that alone, I would have been willing to buy it. But it has jazz songs. They had a classical one too, but considering everything else I was buying, I decided, I'm gonna hold off on that. But so it has Louis Bellson. I haven't heard of him. Paul Desmond, I've heard of him. Oscar Peterson, of course. Where are we? Woody Herman, The New Thundering Herd. Henry Mancini, of course. Mark Almond. Dizzy Gillespie. Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites. And there's a great picture of him. I don't know if you can pick it up, but he has his puffy cheeks there. He was known for, because I briefly played the trumpet, and one of the things that the trumpet teacher will teach you is that you're not supposed to puff out your cheeks. So my trumpet teacher, he would do this thing where we'd be puffing out our cheeks like this, and he would come by and oh yeah. So anyway, Dizzy Gillespie, and then the last one, Chick Corea. So that is pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh yes. And the other one, obviously I'm into music, but some of you may know that I'm also big into books, and reading in general, whether it be magazines or books. So with that, this is a box set. I was very excited to add this to my spoken word collection of records. The complete recorded stories and humorous essays of Dylan Thomas. Wow. That is pretty awesome. I'm hoping, it probably says on here somewhere, you know what? I don't even. I just don't know. I was trying to think of when he was around, like if it would have been possible for him to record these, but my wife would probably know. She's as I don't think I've mentioned before, but my wife is an English teacher, so yeah, she would probably know. But very excited to add this to my collection, and I think this one is basically the same as the other. Oh yeah, yeah. One thing about all of these is they are pristine. This one I don't think it has a book. The other ones actually come with books. Yeah, this doesn't have a book. I'm guessing there probably was a companion book for this, but I could be wrong. But anyway, there's that one. Wow, we're already 10 minutes and I'm just now starting on the records. Alright. These are in no particular order. Now, a lot of these, I'm not necessarily familiar with the actual opera, but the fact that it's a complete opera, and I am familiar with the composers, yeah. So here's the first one, Dvorak, Saint Ludmila. Just kind of, more than anything on these, I'll kind of show you a lot of them have these really beautiful booklets. They're all floppy like this. Yeah, so it basically has the lyrics. They'll have the lyrics in the original language and then in the English translation. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. You can kind of follow along with the story. Yeah. Ideally, what I would do is I would read it ahead of time, so I know what the story is, and then I would listen to it. Because I don't really want to be like reading while I'm listening to the music. Yeah. Another one, I'm not familiar with the opera itself, but I am very familiar with Rossini. La Donna del Lago. Yes. This one actually has complete packaging. Let's see if there's a nice booklet in there. Oh, the first... I forgot to tell you the prices on these. Alright, so this was $1.99. The Dylan Thomas was $3.99. The Dvorak was $3.99. This Rossini is $3.99. Let's see if that one, the booklet isn't all that spectacular. It's just a black and white booklet. Then we have another Rossini, L'Italiana in Algeria. I assume that means the Italian in Algeria, but yeah, again, this one has a really thick booklet actually. So it's mostly lyrics in these things. So that was $3.99. Another Rossini, Il Viaggio a Reims, and you know, I'm sure I'm slaughtering like all this stuff, but this one was $5.99. It's funny because it says digital recording. There you go. And that's a familiar emblem for people that collect classical records. You'll see that one a lot. Now this one has like a nice book. Again, you know, it's mostly words. It'll have some photographs, giving you kind of the background. But mostly these things are intended to give the lyrics. I'm just noticing that this is actually the text of this is in I don't know, is that German? Okay, there is. Okay, I see it. Side by side languages. Okay. The third column there is English. So this one actually has quite a few photographs, and then it does have the lyrics. So again, not familiar with this opera, Il Viaggio a Reims. Yes. Another Rossini. I picked up a lot of Rossini. Il Turco in Italia, which I assume means the Turk in Italy. Woo! Dust, yeah. I released a little dust from these, but yeah, there's that one. Okay, now we're into a different one. We have Wagner, and I'm not sure if it's like a collaboration, but Wagner and Joachim or Joachim. Die Meistersinger von Nuremberg. Ooh, it has Placido Domingo. Nice. Yeah, let's see what the booklet is like on that one. That's just a black and white lyric sheet, glorified lyric sheet. Although it's a booklet, but now this one's interesting, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to feel about it when I listen to it. But it's Sir John in Love by Vaughan Williams. Usually, when I listen to opera, I enjoy it best when it's in a language I don't understand. To me, opera in English, I don't know. It just doesn't grab me. I think it's almost distracting being able to understand the words. I almost like focusing just on the vocal techniques and the melodies and the accompanying music and all that. But I thought I'd give it a shot. This one was a little more expensive. That last one was $3.99. But this one was $5.99. I'm not sure like why there's a difference there, but this one has kind of a slightly different book in there. But again, it's basically lyrics. Yeah, and this one is obviously all English. So is that one? Vaughan Williams. I don't know that I've heard any of his music before. Okay, now we're getting into the really good stuff. Now this is Mozart, but I'm not familiar with this opera at all. La Clemenza di Tito. Yeah, not at all familiar with it, but it just has a standard book in there. Some of the books are really nice, and then some of them are just. This one, this is one of the ones I'm. These last three, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get these. They are like so classic. So yet another Rossini, but this is William Tell, and let me tell you, everyone is familiar with the William Tell Overture. Everyone. Yeah. So it'll be interesting because the overture, I mean, that's just like the first part of it. It's like, okay, well, there's this whole, I think this is 5 records. So yeah, I mean that's just the overture is just one song, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to hear like the whole thing. And it says first complete recording of the original version in French. So very excited about this one. Very, very excited. This was $3.99. A fairly standard book. Has some interesting artwork there, though. Yeah. Lyrics. Oh man, I'm telling you, I just when I saw all these, I could not pass them up. It was just, I knew that someone else would get them, and I was praying when I took these up there that that purple was the color of the week, but that was not the case, unfortunately. Then we have Bizet or Bizet. Oh. Someone hacked up something. I guess they're okay. But Carmen. That is a classic. Oh, classic opera. Oh, and again, it has Placido Domingo. Oh, man. Oh, so excited about this one. Yeah, it's a pretty standard booklet there. And the last one, I'm very excited about this one as well. Another Rossini. I picked up a lot of Rossini. Excuse me. The dust. Ooh. I mean, these are in great shape, and they're actually very clean, but, you know, there's still dust, like, on the packaging and whatnot. But Il Barbiere de Sevilla, which everybody knows as the Barber of Seville. So, I remember, I think it was a Tom and Jerry cartoon. They would use they had I think it was that one where they had Tom. He would be like a famous concert pianist, and then Jerry would like interrupt his show basically. And but I want to say that Tom was actually singing in one, and he was singing the Barber of Seville. I could be wrong. I could be thinking of something else, but needless to say, the Barber of Seville, another classic, Rossini. So, yes. Oh man. So that's it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 operas. And then the Dylan Thomas and the jazz record. Oh, man. Whew. That is a huge, huge opera hall. Oh, my gosh. Alright, well... yeah, there you go. I am so excited to add these to my collection. Yeah. I just love opera, and to be able to hear the complete opera is very important. It's all well and good to, you know, hear the famous parts of each opera, but yeah, very excited. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.